Good evening, my dear friends. I welcome you all to the Hindu Science and Technology column analysis on August 14, 2022. The first news item I am going to deal with is about lactose persistence. How human beings have been able to digest milk over its evolutionary years of 5000 years. Lactose persistence and lactose intolerance are two concepts which have been discussed in the science and technology column today. The science and technology column reports only the overview of the scientific and archaeological studies conducted from 13,000 samples found from 500 plus sites, which has shown that human beings have adapted to the lactose persistence which we find today. And lactose intolerance is very much prevalent in many of the humans even today. Friends, what are these terms? I hope we all take milk, and milk is containing 5 to 6 percentage of lactose. What is lactose? Lactose is a sugar component which is a polysaccharide made of 12 sub items of glucose. Therefore, it is a sugar component. We all consume milk in some form or other. Sometimes we take the milk as it is, sometimes we mix it with tea and consume it, or sometimes we take the products of milk. The lactose which is found in milk has to be absorbed, digested. For that, a gene is necessary, which is the LCT gene. This LCT gene has not been there with the early humans 3 lakhs years ago. This LCT gene will prompt a an enzyme called a lactase, which will convert the milk into its subforms, the lactose in the milk into subforms, and get digested. The indigestion with regard to the lactose in the milk results in diarrhea and stomach problems. India is one of the largest producers of milk. However, it is very interesting to note that only 13 to 25% of Indians are lactose tolerant. That is, lactose persistence in human beings in India is only for only 25% of those people. We know that as babies, every baby consumes milk. However, after 5 years of age, the human beings develop a kind of lactose resistance, that is, lactose intolerance and indigestion. It is the inability of the small intestine to digest the lactose present in the milk. That is, it shows the absence of lactase in the duodenum section of the small intestine. Friends, I hope you all know the small intestine which is there in the bottom of our stomach. In the stomach, the small intestine is followed by the large intestine. These are the tracts in which the digestion process is finally materialized. The large intestine is also called as colon. The lactase, which is not present in the small intestine, that is the duodenum, the linings of the duodenum in the small intestine, if the lactase is not present there, the milk we drink directly falls into the colon. Colon is the large intestine. And a lot of water is released which produces diarrhea. This is a very dangerous condition. Many Europeans have been found to be lactose tolerant. That is, lactose persistence is found in many Europeans. There are three types of lactose persistence, or there are three types of lactose intolerance, that is, milk intolerance. The first one is primary. The primary relates to after a certain age, that is, after 5 or 6 years of age, the individuals develop the lactose intolerance. That is, if we drink milk, it will not be digested because of the absence of, that is, the lactase becomes less and less present and it weans away. The lactase was present in the childhood, that is till the age of 6, and it gradually decreases by lesser and lesser amount and becomes absent. So when the individual who is having this primary lactase absence in their stomach, if they drink milk, they are likely to catch stomach diseases, that is some stomach disorders and diarrhea. Then there is a secondary lactose persistence or lactose intolerance. Secondary lactose intolerance happens when there is injury to the small intestine. When the injury to the small intestine happens, the lactase becomes absent and the gene producing, that is LCT gene producing the inducing the enzyme lactase becomes inactive, and therefore the lactose intolerance happens. And there is a third condition which is coming from the very birth, that is, it is a kind of congenital disease. Lactose intolerance is congenital, which becomes the child cannot digest the milk and develop several diseases. To those children, we have to induce the soybean extract of the milk. The soybean milk we have to feed those children, those who are resistant to the lactose present in the milk from the very childhood, the birth itself. So in this column, that is the lactose persistence, the lactose persistent study of the evolution of the human beings. This is a very interesting study. In the times of Hippocrates, who is known as the father of medical science, Hippocrates had mentioned about this lactose intolerance in human beings. However, it was not known why this was happening. Why this was happening? Because the gene LCT is not present in humans. Certain humans was not known till the 1960s. Later in the 1960s, the archaeological studies have proved that the archaeological remains of early humans dated back to 5000 years back was taken, and how this mutation happened in human beings to digest or absorb the lactose present in the milk was found. In the 1960s, it was found that a gene LCT was responsible for it. And there is another gene which switches on this LCT. These two genes were found in the 1960s, and thereafter, the lactose tolerant genes and the lactase enzyme, which is responsible for the digestion of the milk, was found out. Very interesting to note that certain people who are absent with this gene LCT and the presence of enzyme lactase should not drink milk. Friends, it is very interesting to know that the nature has no stoppage while offering virus to human beings. The new virus, which has been found from eastern China in August 4, on August 4, 2022, is the Langia virus, a new threat. It is a zoonotic virus. What do you mean by zoonotic virus? A zoonotic virus is the virus which spreads from animals to human beings. The Langia virus derives its name from the Langia city in the Shandong province in China. Look, China is offering another virus. Earlier it had offered the SARS-CoV-19. Now the new Chinese contribution is the Langia virus. The Langia virus belongs to the Hepinavirus family. Earlier we know another virus of the Hepinavirus family, that was Nipah. Nipah was very lethal and dangerous and deadly. However, the scientists are telling that this Langia virus is not that deadly, is not that dangerous. It is spreading from a small kind of rodent called a shrew. The shrew rodent is the natural reservoir of this virus. So, this Langia virus is the new kid in the block. It was discovered in August 2022, the new one. The scientists are observing it. Around 15 people in China have been affected with the virus. As I told, it is a zoonotic virus that is spreading from animals to human beings. There is another virus which is spreading from animals to human beings, that is monkeypox virus. It is high time the awareness with regard to the monkeypox virus is taken up by the government, because the monkeypox virus is fast spreading and now 35,000 people are there who are affected with the virus, spreading to 90 countries. Still the government is silent on this. We cannot see the newspaper reports or newspaper articles portraying this virus and the awareness with this. So coming back to the Langia virus story, what are the symptoms? There will be fever and nausea, vomiting, and the low platelet count and the low white blood cells platelet count. These are the symptoms. These are the symptoms of Langia virus. Is there a cause of greater concern? The scientists are saying that we are going on studying about this virus. There is no cause of worry at present, but surveillance will make us safer. This is what we needed, because the COVID virus also, in the science and technology column, there is a small article, there is a small news item related to the origin of the SARS-CoV-19 virus, that is COVID virus. It spread from snakes in the Chinese market in the Wuhan province, and it spread to the other parts of the world. The SARS-CoV-2 virus the SARS-CoV-2 virus split into two and it spread to different parts of the world. There was the Middle East SARS-CoV-2, that is Middle East SARS, and the all around the globe the Chinese SARS had taken stage. There is a small column with regard to the SARS-CoV-2. So this Langia virus is the new kid in the block, and we will hear more about this in the days to come. So it is now released on this month. It is hardly 2 weeks when the virus has been released, 10 days when the virus has been released, and it will create some news in the days to come. We have to control this virus, friends. Friends, in the question corner, there is a very interesting aspect with related to the gene transmission from small organisms, microorganisms to animals. Wolbachia, the kit which has encoded its DNA into the RNA of fruit flies, is the news. Wolbachia is a bacteria which infects the insects, the arthropods. All insects are called arthropods. And it is found in fruit flies, the bees, the butterflies, and the like. So, this Wolbachia bacteria has encoded its DNA into the RNA of fruit flies in the whole process of 7,000 years. The Wolbachia bacteria's DNA can be found in the DNA of the fruit flies. It has made some change or mutation in the DNA of the fruit flies. That is, in the chromosome 4 of the fruit flies, it has made it to enlarge by 20% of the original size. So, after encoding its DNA into the RNA of the chromosome 4 of the fruit flies, it has made this chromosome 4 to enlarge by 20% of its original size. See how in this 7,000 years of evolution of these fruit flies, the bacteria Wolbachia's contribution lies. Most of the times we find that when the bacteria transmission of DNA, genetic material happens, it is the DNA transmission. Only the virus is known to transmit the RNA. These microorganisms write into the RNA of the animals, even human beings, and help human beings. It is said that the intelligence of humans is derived from the virus encoding of certain genetic material into our nervous cells, and therefore we are intelligent now. So this mutation created by the virus genetic or material encoding and the bacterial genetic encoding, material encoding, creates a lot of change into the animals it infects with. This Wolbachia bacteria has in fact changed the nature of the fruit flies. It may be helpful. It is not that these bacteria are very much helpful, because after encoding of the genetic material, their genetic material DNA into the chromosome 4 of the fruit flies, the fruit flies have become very much efficient and very much much more developed species now. So this genetic material encoding is very much helpful. Remember the name Wolbachia bacteria. Friends, have you heard of sauropods? Sauropods were very large lizard like looking dinosaurs which existed long back, that is 80 billion years ago. It had a long neck, long tail, and four very large sized pillar like legs. These sauropods exactly looked like lizards. It had a very huge body. In the Jurassic Park film and in the Lost World, we have found sauropods. They were very peace loving animals. These sauropods had very huge bulky body. Therefore, the weight of the sauropods was very much huge when known to human beings. How did it control its feet? The feet which was containing or carrying the whole big body of the sauropod dinosaurs. It is because now the scientists have found that sauropods had under their feet the very soft tissues which helped them to control the huge body structure which they had. These lizard shaped animals ruled the air. Though they were very peaceful, the look of them would drive all sorts of blood out of the other dinosaurs. These had very long neck. I hope you are able to imagine the sauropods having the long neck and thumb like or pillar like legs. I hope you are able to imagine. If not, Google it and see. Remember sauropods. Friends, have you heard about Kasarabe culture? Kasarabe culture existed around 400 to 1400 BC. Once BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, had commented about the Kasarabe culture as the culture which shaped the Amazon. Their culture was one of urbanization. Many settlements they had constructed are the first signs of urbanization in Amazon. Scientists have recently mapped their locality using remote sensing technology called LIDAR. The remote sensing technology called LIDAR was used to locate or map the locality of the Kasarabe culture, which existed in the Amazon in the 400 to 1400 BC. Now, the locality where this Kasarabe culture was flourished is now in Bolivia. In the southwestern Amazon, this locality comes and it is in Bolivia. Remember, the name of the culture was Kasarabe culture.